What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the stream, guys. Appreciate you being here, man. Another little two-game slate to talk about. Probably our last two-gamer of the season. The Hawks could win tonight, and that series could possibly be over. The Clippers could win tonight. That series could possibly be over. We're probably not going to have any more two-game slates after today. It's just going to be showdown, but we're here to talk through this two-game slate, answer your questions. There is some news to talk about today. We did get news that Mike Conley is most likely going to play tonight. We don't have any official status yet, but he is working towards a return. Conley is expected back, so that does kind of take me off of guys like Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson. He's been terrible lately, but I really don't have any interest in those guys now that Conley's expected to play. We still don't know if Mitchell's going to play, but I assume he'll be good to go. He's a game time decision, but I assume Mitchell's in. But yeah, the big news we got today is that Conley's expected to play tonight, which I was kind of surprised by. We haven't really heard anything on Conley's status, and then we finally get word today that he's probably going to play. So there's a little bit less interest from the Jazz side, but most likely a pretty straightforward slate. Not too much has changed since I made my video last night. But as always, guys, if you have questions on tonight's slate, start throwing them in chat for the next 30 minutes or so. We'll just chill, talk through this slate, and answer any questions you got. And if you didn't check my Twitter, guys, pretty cool news. I'm going to be going live with DK in about an hour or so, 6 Eastern. So shortly after I finish my stream, I will be heading over to DK stream. We're going to be doing a little dual live stream together. So be sure to check that out. If you guys don't know who DK is, he's a DFS guy. He makes YouTube videos like me. He's incredibly intelligent. He knows what he's doing. He makes good content. So check out his stream. Shortly after I end mine, I'm going to be live. Breaking down the slate with him, talking through everything that or everything on this slate with him. What do you think about the Kemba Walker trade? I mean, I don't really get too big into trades and stuff. I know Kemba wanted out of Boston. I think that was why they traded him. It's kind of weird that Horford's going back to Boston. I mean, so they got Horford and they got Moses Brown. Boston has so many bigs right now. They have Horford, they have Moses Brown, they have Rob Williams, they have Tristan Thompson. Kind of weird, but yeah, I mean, I don't have any thoughts on it, honestly. I play DFS. I'm not a GM. I don't really I don't get too much into the the trades and stuff. I'm just here to talk DFS, I guess. But DFS wise, I think it's going to be a boost for Marcus Smart next season. It's going to be a boost for Tatum and Jaylen Brown too. Maybe SGA won't be as good next year. His usage might not be as high playing alongside Kemba. I think Kemba, if he plays a full season with OKC, he should definitely be good for DFS. I think he's going to have if you're playing season long fantasy, I think Kemba could be a guy worth targeting season long. Quick question: Harrison Batum or Marcus Morris and Bojan Gallinari? Harrison Batum or Marcus Morris, Bojan Gallinari? I'd probably go Harrison Batum there, Michael. Which game you like the most tonight? I mean, I think the second game is the more appealing game, just given the news that with Kawhi out, there's just so many good plays on the Clippers today. A lot of the Clippers guys that I liked last slate, I like again today. The prices didn't move too much. Paul George did see a pretty big price bump up. But Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, Batum, Terrence Mann, all those guys were still affordable. I think the Clippers, really just the later game is the more appealing game. But the Clippers, they're definitely my favorite team to target. I already see questions about people asking to play, if you can play all 5 Clippers starters. I think it's totally fine. Right now on Draftkings, or I think on Draftkings and Yahoo, both my lineups have all 5 of the starting Clippers. So Reggie, Mann, PG, Batum, Morris. I mean, I think it's fine to play all 5 of those guys. They all 5 did really well last game. I don't see any reason why they all 5 can't do well again. Who can you pivot off of at small forward on Yahoo since Ingles isn't a good play tonight? I'm scared to play Kevin Huerter. Yeah, Kevin Huerter, he's in my lineup right now. I don't feel great about it, but I expect Kevin Huerter to get 34 to 36 minutes most nights. I mean, I know he's been playing poorly lately. His minutes have kind of started to trend down, but he's still cheap. He's got upside if he does get the minutes. He can shoot threes. He's a good shooter. He should be able to get some assists whenever Trae Young's not on the floor. I still like Kevin Huerter, and I think with how thin small forward is, on Yahoo, small forward's terrible. I mean, you literally have at small forward you're either going to play Bojan, Ingles, or Huerter, and Ingles I don't really like now that now that Conley's back. So I don't know if any of these $10 guys are really playable. Maybe you could play Luke Kennard and hope he gets minutes, but I don't think I'm going to go there. So, yeah, for me, a small forward on Yahoo, it's either Bojan or Kevin Huerter, in my opinion. And I think Huerter's fine. Reggie Jackson feels like a lock. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a lock, but yeah, he's definitely one of the better mid-range options. I mean, his price barely moved. I think he was 5,100 last slate, and he's 5,200 today. So, yeah, he played 37 minutes. He's going to get more opportunity to score with Kawhi off the floor. He should get more usage. His minutes should be more secure. Yeah, I definitely like Reggie. I agree. He's a really good play. You can literally roster every Clippers starter, in my opinion, for cash. I mean, yeah, I think if you're playing cash games, you probably want to do that, I would think. I mean, you're definitely going to want to have PG, Marcus Morris, Mann, probably Reggie Jackson. Like, I guess the one guy you can maybe not play in cash would be Batum, but I think he's still a very good cash play too. I mean, yeah, like that's why I don't like cash games at this point in the season. Like, everyone's going to play those 5 guys, so it's basically going to be like a 2v2, is going to dictate whether you cash or not in cash games because everyone's going to play those 5 starters. Is Royce still a good play with Conley likely to play? I don't think it really impacts Royce that much. I mean, Royce is not a high usage player. It's not like he's going to, facilitate or anything. He's just going to stand in the corner, and if he gets an open 3 or 2, he's going to take it. But, yeah, I think Conley being back doesn't really change Royce's role that much. So at 5K, I think Royce he's a solid option. I feel better about those Clippers guys, obviously, but, yeah, Royce is still in play for me. I think the guys that take the biggest hit with Conley back are Ingles and Clarkson. Who's the 2 best mid-range guys? I mean, it's probably like Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, those Clippers that I like in the mid-range. If like 5K, is that what you consider mid-range? I think that's the way I'd go. Is it crazy to play all 5 Clippers starters in a GPP? I mean, I don't think it's crazy. I think it's going to be popular. Like, I think all 5 guys are going to be popular. So a lot of people are probably going to do that. So I guess in GPPs, maybe you don't want to play all 5 because I think other people are going to have those 5 too. But I do like all 5 of those guys. Just, not factoring in ownership or anything. All 5 Clippers starters, assuming they go with the same starting lineup they did last game, I think all 5 guys are good plays. So basically, we have the same Yahoo lineup with Embiid, PG, and Trey. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my lineup right now, Steph. I think a lot of people are going to have that lineup too, so I might make some pivots because I don't want to, have my lineup duplicated. But yeah, right now that's my Yahoo lineup, and I think a lot of people are going to have that lineup too. Like I said. Herter's trash. I mean, he's been trash lately. Can't deny that. I mean, last 2 games he's had 2 of his last 3 games he's put up 5 and 6 fantasy points. He's been terrible, but I think the minutes should still be there as long as he's playing decent. He's going to get 30-plus minutes. Kevin Herter will. How many minutes Conley played today? I really have no idea, Abdad. I mean, that's the big question of the slate. If you want to take the risk on Conley and play him, I think he will be low-owned. Anytime you can get someone that has upside in the mid-range, it's going to be low-owned. That makes Conley appealing, but I'm not confident in Conley at all. Just because we don't. This could be just one of those situations where he's kind of playing just because it's an elimination game. So he's just kind of trying to push through. But is he fully healthy? We really don't know. My best guess is Conley plays 30 minutes, but he could play 20, he could play 40. I mean, we just don't know. So it's just a guess. Curry, Morris, or Bojan? Give me Marcus Morris there. Best value plays today, I mean, if you consider those 5K guys like Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, if you consider them values, then yeah, but it would probably be those guys. But in terms of, 5K and below, I'm looking at Terrence Mann. If he starts again, I like Terrence Mann for value. I think, Batum at 4,900. Kevin Herter, if you want to take the shot on Kevin Herter, I'm fine with that. But definitely Terrence Mann, in terms of punt values, I think he looks like one of the best options. He played 26 minutes last game. There's no guarantee he plays 26 minutes again, but he's going to start. He's 3,200. I like Terrence Mann. Lou Will as well. Lou Will saw increased minutes last game. Again, I don't know if that happens again. Lou Will could play 15 minutes tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised. But if Lou Will gets 20, 25 minutes, he could be a good play as well. He's super cheap. With Conley playing, can you get off of Mitchell and go to Trey, Embiid, and PG? I'm kind of leaning that way. I've been on Mitchell a lot so far in this series. But I think I'm kind of preferring Trey over him now that Conley's back. I'm not saying that Mitchell's a bad play. He definitely takes a little bit of a hit with Conley back. Even if Conley, is sort of a decoy, that's at least, you're getting someone on the floor that can facilitate, that can, that gets a lot of usage. So I'm fine getting off of Mitchell, going to Trey. Embiid and Paul George, though, are definitely my 2 favorite studs still. Simmons, Harris, or Mitchell? I mean, I'd go Mitchell there if you have the salary. Mitchell over PG, Trey on Yahoo for at least a little ownership leverage. Yeah, if you want to go that way, Steph, I think that's fine. I think Mitchell will be lower owned than Trey will. They're like Trey, PG, and Mitchell are all the same salary. I think PG and Trey are the better plays. I think they're going to be higher owned. So, yeah, if you want to play Mitchell for the low ownership, go ahead. I have no problem with it. Any interest in Gobert? I mean, he's fine just because, you only have like 3 or 4 playable options at center. But, when you look at the slate as a whole, Gobert doesn't stand out to me. The only way I think you get to him is if, he just fits into your build at center. If I can, though, I want to try and pay up for Embiid at center, if possible. My man T-Money with a $5 super chat. I appreciate your support as always, T-Money. He says, Noah, thanks for a great year, man. NBA wasn't as good as NFL winnings, but appreciate your hard work. Let's get it, my dude. Thank you, T-Money. Thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Am I the only one that just loves playing Trey? Man, just never screws me. I love playing him. I mean, Trey, he's a fun guy to watch. Like, if you're the nights you play Trey and he's going out there and he's just making every three, like he's taking those 3-pointers from half court and he's making them. I mean, it feels so good when you play in those nights. But then there's definitely been nights where I've played Trey and you just can't make a shot to save his life. But yeah, Trey, I think Trey's a good play tonight. I mean, I have no problems with him. I still prefer, like I said, PG and Embiid though over Trey. Are you taking the over on Seth Curry tonight on PrizePicks? Probably not. Marcus, I think that's one I'm probably not going to touch. Like, his projection feels pretty accurate to me. If you guys do have PrizePicks questions, by the way, feel free to leave them in chat. But I think his projection is 27 last I looked. Yeah, his projection is 27. I know he had that massive game last game. He went for 49 fantasy points. I think most nights Seth Curry is going to score anywhere between 25 to 30 fantasy points. So at 27 projection, I'm probably not going to touch that one. For me, in terms of PrizePicks, I like the Kevin Huerter over. I've been betting Kevin Huerter's over on PrizePicks lately. It hasn't gone well, but I still do like it today. I mean, like I said, if he plays 30, 35 minutes, most nights Kevin Huerter should score over 20.5 fantasy points. So that's one that I kind of like on PrizePicks, the over on Kevin Huerter. If you want to go to these Clippers guys, I think that's fine too. A lot of their projections were boosted. Like Marcus Morris is up to 30, Reggie Jackson's up to 29, but I still like some of their overs. And I was able to get on, so Joe Ingles, his projection on PrizePicks was 27.5. I was able to bet the under on that whenever Conley got ruled in. I don't like it nearly as much now with his projection coming down, but I still do like I like the under on Ingles when his projection was 27.5. Now that it's 21, I probably wouldn't touch it. I missed your answer at work. What did you say about Royce? I don't think his role really changes with Conley back. If anything, it might help him. Like Royce, he's not a high usage player. He's just going to stand in the corner. When he gets an open three, he'll probably take it. So, yeah, maybe with Conley in, that's someone that they can focus more on defensively, which should maybe allow for Royce to get more open looks. But I don't think his role really changes with Conley back. So I still have interest in Royce. I think he's still a fine option. I'm running a Yahoo GPP lineup where we pivot from Reggie, Batum, Trey to Conley, Gallo, Toby. Definitely not optimal, but who knows what happens. I mean, yeah, on these slates, Steph, I think it's fine to just go off the board. I mean, we've seen on these 2-gamers, like, things can just get weird. There can be a bench guy that goes off. A stud could bust. I'm fine leaving salary on the table. I'm fine playing just low-owned, cheap plays, and you just got to hope they do well, especially if you're playing, like, a large field GPP. It makes sense to just go off the board. Or same with, like, Showdown as well. I mean, look at the Showdown winning lineup last night. Literally, 2 guys in the winning Showdown lineup played like 2 minutes. I think the winning Showdown lineup last night had Alzy Johnson and Tyler Johnson in it, and they both played like maybe 2 or 3 minutes in garbage time, and they were in the winning Showdown lineup. It's just crazy. Simmons pops off tonight, 12 for 12 from the charity strike. Oh my God, dude. Simmons can't make a free throw to save his life. I think that's crazy how literally an NBA player can be that bad at shooting free throws. I mean, I'm not like a great basketball player either, but I feel like I could shoot free throws better than Ben Simmons, I think. Wonder what's the over-under on Simmons free throws tonight. I mean, if they get down, they'll probably just hack him like they did last game. I mean, it works. Like, Simmons can't make a free throw right now, so yeah, if you get down, especially late in the game, just foul Simmons, make him make his free throws. Can you go Baron Collins to get off Embiid? How can you really get different tonight on Yahoo? I feel like everybody will have the same lineup. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are going to have, like I said, Chris, those 4 or 5 Clipper starters. Like, I think you're going to see a lot of lineups on Yahoo with all 5 Clipper starters, which I'm fine with. If you want to get different, though, I mean, yeah, like Donovan Mitchell, I don't think is going to be nearly as high owned as Embiid or Paul George or Trey. I don't like Mitchell as much as those guys, but if you want him for the low ownership, you could go that route. You could maybe fade Embiid and play like Simmons and Harris and just hope that Embiid just has a mediocre game and then Simmons and Harris do really well. I mean, there's plenty of ways to get different, but yeah, the optimal build on Yahoo tonight is pretty straightforward. You almost kind of can just like make the lineup yourself. Courtmaster or Terrence Mann? I feel better about Terrence Mann. I think he plays probably a few more minutes. He's a more productive player. I mean, both guys, if you're talking about punt options below 4K, I think both Courtmass and Mann are viable, but I prefer Mann. Lou Will, Courtmass, or Mann? Again, yeah, I'd take Mann there. How do you feel about over 11 points on Kennard? Yeah, I liked Kennard's over a lot last game. Like, I think his projection on PrizePicks was 8.5, and I bet that over whenever Kawhi got ruled out, and he finished with like 7 fantasy points, which is super tilting. He played 20 minutes. I think most nights Kennard scores over 11 fantasy points if he plays 20 minutes. He's a super scoring dependent player, so if he doesn't, make a couple threes, he's probably not going to get there, T-Money, but I'd be fine betting that over. I mean, there is no guarantee. Like, Kennard could play 28 minutes tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised. So if you want to bet, I think that's fine to go with over 11 fantasy points for Kennard. You pretty much just got to hope that he makes like 2 or 3 threes, and then maybe it gets like a steal or something. Do you like the under for Bojan or Bogdan on PrizePicks? I haven't looked at his projection yet. What's Bogdan's projection? 28. I mean, that's kind of another one that feels pretty accurate to me. He's gone under 28 in 4 straight games, but I feel like if his projection was like 30 or 31, I'd probably take the under. But 28, I feel like most nights Bogdan probably scores, between like around that number. So his projection is probably one I'm not going to touch. I think it's fine to just not touch that one, I don't think. I guess if you force me to, I'd probably take the under, though. Bogdanovich over, or if you're talking about Bojan or Bogdan, Marcus? I think Bojan, what's his projection? Yeah, his projection is 25. I'm guessing you're talking about him. That's another one that kind of feels pretty accurate to me. Maybe Bojan takes a little bit of a hit with Conley back, but again, most nights I think Bojan's going to score around 25 fantasy points. If his projection was like 28 or 30, I'd bet the under. But at 25, I'm probably not going to touch that one either. A lot of the projections today on PrizePicks feel pretty good. Like, there's nothing that stands out to me, honestly. Like, yesterday, there was a lot. Like, I really like the over on Harden. I really like the over on Blake Griffin. Those both worked out well. I like Drew Holiday's over. That worked out well. Like, today, I'm kind of struggling to find picks that I like on PrizePicks today. Luckily, I was able to get some in, though, before they adjusted for the Conley news. I was able to bet the under on Ingles and Clarkson before they adjusted. Do you like Mike Conley tonight? I mean, he's going to be low owned. If you want to take that risk, I think it's fine. But, I have no confidence in Conley. I have no idea how many minutes he plays. Your guess is as good as mine. This could be, like I said earlier, this could be like a James Harden type of situation where Conley just kind of goes out there and just, he's like a decoy. Like, he's not aggressive. He's just kind of standing at the top of the key and just, facilitating. I mean, we don't know. Like, you can maybe try and read up on some reports, see what the beat writers are saying, if there's any reports on Conley, but I have no idea how many minutes he plays or how healthy he is. Herter or Gallo? I mean, I'd rather have Herter, I think, especially because Herter probably will be lower owned. And I think both guys project pretty similarly, so I'd rather have Herter. Think people chase Seth Curry tonight? I think Seth Curry is definitely going to be over-owned. He had that massive game last game. Normally, Seth Curry's not someone I want to play if he's really popular. I think he's a good option, but I'm probably not going to play Seth Curry. I think he will be most likely over-owned on this slate. And if he goes out there and puts up 50 again, then, I'll move on to the next day. But Seth Curry for me is probably like a fade, just because I think, not that I think he's going to do bad, I just think he's going to be over-owned, higher owned than he probably should be. Did the over on Embiid 58 fantasy points and over 2.5 threes for Trey? You think I'll cash? I mean, over 58 for Embiid, that feels pretty good. Like, I think, in a closeout game, Embiid's going to play 40 minutes, and if he's full go, if he plays as good as he did last game, he's probably going to score over 58. So I'm fine with that one. And then 2.5 threes for Trey. Yeah, I mean, Trey, like, how many threes has he made these last few games? I mean, three-pointers made is kind of one you're kind of guessing. I like to look at how he's done lately. So far, his last 5 games, he's went over 2.5 threes 3 of the 5 games. So I'm fine with that one too. Like, I don't know if either one of those would be like ones I'd be targeting, those over and unders, but I think they're fine. I'm okay with that. Am I an idiot to play Pat Bev, Man, Reggie, and PG in the same lineup? So Pat Bev, Man, and Reggie, I think I probably wouldn't play all 3 of those guys just because it's unlikely you see all 3 of those guys in the closing lineup. Like, if Man loses minutes tonight, if he doesn't play 26 minutes, if Man only plays like 20 minutes, that probably means maybe Patrick Beverley plays a little bit more, maybe Luke Kennard plays a little bit more. So I probably wouldn't play Beverley and Man together. I know they're super cheap, but I don't think I'd play them together. Reggie, though, I'm fine with. I expect him to get minutes regardless. Mike Conley or Seth Curry? I mean, honestly, God, like, I know Mike Conley. So, God, that's a tough one. I think I'd probably lean Mike Conley there. If you have the salary, I know there's a big salary difference, but if you have the salary, I'd probably take Mike Conley. You think John Collins is a good play on Yahoo to try and get different? I mean, I feel better. Like, I'd rather play Batum and Morris for cheaper. But yeah, John Collins, he's been good lately. Like, he's been someone I normally don't play. But the last 2 games, 34 fantasy points, 38 fantasy points. He's played 36 minutes in both games. So, I mean, Collins is a good play. I prefer Morris. I prefer Batum for cheaper. I think those guys could easily outscore Collins, and they're, $5 cheaper, $8 cheaper. But if you want to get different, Chris, I mean, yeah, Collins I don't think will be nearly as popular just because everyone is going to play Morris and Batum at power forward. Can you play Gallo and Herter together? I think you can. They're both fairly cheap. Most nights I think you're going to get 30 to 35 minutes from Herter and 25-ish from Gallo, and both guys are productive enough to where they can pay off their salaries in that time. They've both had good games. Like, I think there was one game in this series where they both put up like 30 DraftKings points, which, they could definitely do tonight. So I'm fine playing Gallo and Herter together. Jackson Morris or Utah Bogdanovich? For me, it would probably be between Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris. I think I'd take Marcus Morris, but, it's close between him and Reggie Jackson. I think both guys look really good today. I think they both project very similarly, I would say. Maybe Marcus Morris plays a few more minutes, so that's why I just give the edge to him. What's up, Patrick? What's up, man? Glad you could tune in. We're going to end the stream here shortly, but if you guys do have any last-minute questions, go ahead and throw them in chat. Mitchell, Gobert, Harris, or Simmons? I mean, I would take Mitchell there. I know he's more expensive than those guys, but if you have the salary, I'd play Mitchell. Do you trust Mike Conley on his minutes and productivity? Yeah, I think we talked about that earlier. Again, I have no idea how many minutes Conley plays, but he's going to be lower owned, I would assume. So if you want to take the shot on Conley and hope that he's fully healthy, I'm fine with it. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to do personally, but I'm fine with it. Conley, Collins, or Capella? I mean, man, Capella's been so bad in this series, but I feel like one of these nights he's going to have a big game. One of these nights Capella's going to go for 18 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. He's going to put up, a big game. I think I'd take Capella there. Capella's a guy that I do like for just low ownership. Recency bias, the poor play recently. Nobody's playing Capella right now, so I still like him in tournaments, especially larger field stuff. What do you think about Sweet Lou, sneaky tonight? I don't know what his ownership's going to be, but so last game he played the most minutes he's played all series, and I'm pretty sure he played the most minutes he's played so far in the playoffs. He played 23 minutes last game. Most nights we've seen, so far in the playoffs, Lou Will's played around, 10 to 15 minutes. So if you told me before the slate started that Lou Will was going to play 23 minutes again, I would feel really good about him, but I don't have any confidence that happens. I mean, I think that one of the reasons he played 23 minutes last game was because Kevin Huerter didn't play as much as we kind of expected. If Kevin Huerter plays 36 minutes tonight, which is possible, I don't know how many minutes Lou Will actually gets. So, if you play him, you basically just got to hope that they close with him instead of Kevin Huerter or something like they did last game. He saw a lot of fourth quarter run over Kevin Huerter. I'd rather bet Kennard under than over personally. I mean, yeah, that's one I don't feel great about, but if Kennard plays 20 minutes, he probably scores around, I think it's, 11 fantasy points? He probably scores around that number. Could he go over? He absolutely could. Could he go under? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I'm not going to bet that personally. So, Embiid, Trey, and PG lock and load. Again, yeah, I think those are probably the three best studs right now. I think those are the three like optimal studs to play. And definitely on Yahoo you can play all three. On Draftkings, I don't know if you can play all three, but yeah, I like those three guys for sure. You think Embiid will score more than 33 points? Let's see. What's his PrizePicks projection? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. 33 and a half. Let's see. Again, this is another one that feels pretty accurate to me, but if I had to take this one side or the other, I'd take the over. It's a closeout game, elimination game. Embiid's going to play as many minutes as he can. He's going to dominate the usage. He should be more aggressive in a closeout game. Like, he's going to want to, pull this win out. So if I had to pick a side there, Nicholas, I'd take the over. Conley or Mitchell? Give me Mitchell for sure. Hey, good luck, T-Money. Good luck, my man. Appreciate you being here as always. Over 2019 or under 2019? If you're talking about the game total, like, I don't really bet on game totals, so I don't want to comment there. Yeah, so I'm probably not gonna touch that one, honestly. Like, I'm not able to sports bet, so I don't want to give advice there if I'm not betting it myself. All right, I'm gonna ban this dude. He's just spamming questions. Don't just come in here and spam questions, man. If you just spam questions, you're gonna get banned immediately. And I answered the question for the dude, and he's still spamming. I think I'm going to pivot off something. Herter's not sitting right with me. I swear he's the only question mark I have in my lineup. I mean, it's the same way with my lineup on Yahoo right now. Like, I feel good about everybody except Herter, but he's cheap. I think he gets 30 minutes, if not more. Small forward sucks, so basically, if you don't play Herter on Yahoo at small forward, you're just going to have to find salary to get up to Bojan. Unless you want to play Ingles, but I don't really like Ingles now that Conley's back. Good luck, Mark. Good luck, my man. All right, guys, I'm on the stream here. As I said at the beginning, I will be live I'll be live again in 30 minutes or so on DK's channel. So DK DFS, if you guys don't know who he is, you can go look up his channel, see the content he puts out. He puts out really good content. He's really good NBA guy. He knows what he's doing. I'm going to be, doing a little dual stream with him, so go check out DK's channel. In about 30 minutes, we'll be live talking through the slate again with DK. But best of luck tonight, guys. Enjoy your Friday night. Hope you guys win. If I don't take down the tournament, hope one of you guys do. All right, good luck, fellas. Good luck as always.